Pisces. I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your June 2025 monthly tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies of the month of June. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you would. It's absolutely free to you. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and you will be notified when I post a new video. So let's get right into it, Pisces. We are looking at June. We have Jupiter entering the sign of Cancer. Jupiter has been in the sign of Gemini for the last year. So this is a big movement of energy, a once a year event. We also have Mercury in Leo entering its retrograde shadow by the end of June. So this is a really good month to get things done, buy those big ticket items, sign those important papers, because in July we will have Mercury retrograde and Neptune also retrogrades. Lastly, we will have a big event, which I believe is a big event, the Sun in Cancer squaring both Neptune and Saturn in Aries, because both of those are freshly into the sign of Aries. So let's get right into it. Check the description box for all the important dates. All right, so we start off the first week of the month, Two of Swords, as well as the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. By the time we move into the second week, Knight of Cups in the reverse, as well as the Star card, Aquarius energy there, major arcana. So two major arcanas back to back here, Pisces in reverse. The Lovers, Gemini energy, major arcana, as well as the Page of Swords in reverse. And by the time we round out June and head into July, we do have the Five of Swords in reverse. Always nice to see that card in reverse when it's talking about dealing with other people and strife, and the Page of Cups. All right, so interesting that you have quite a few court cards, but they're like the lower court cards, the Knight, the Page of Cups here. So I do think that there is some conversations amongst people that are possibly around your age or younger that could be bringing you some information during this month. So just pay attention to that. Let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you a card representing the energy that you bring into the month of June. Maybe this was energy you were dealing with back in May. Spirit, if you can send my Pisceans a card representing the energy they bring into the month. And you have the King of Cups. So speaking of court cards, so now this is the higher court card. King of Cups is that intuitive king. He is the emotional one who is able to really connect with people on a emotional level. And for some of you all, this could have been a energy that you had back in May, but you also feel here in June that maybe you are trying to connect with people around you. But I also feel like many of you all intuitively could be having some really big dreams during the month of June. So pay attention to people who come into your inbox, people who come into your just your psyche realm. I do think many of you all could be contacted from others, those who have deceased or passed away or just moved on in their lives. This is definitely an emotional connection here, Pisces. And you all, as a fellow water sign, already have that intuitive insight as well. So this definitely could be resonating with you this month. All right, Pisces, let's go ahead and pick an oracle message card. Spirit, can you send my Pisceans an oracle message for the month of June? And you have financial and material changes. So for many of you all, you see that number 5 up there, and we have this 5 of Swords. I do think that there is somewhere, possibly in the month of May, that you could have had some type of new job or conflict at a job. This also could have been conflict at home. There's something here where money has changed, whether you have lost a job, come into a new job, possibly also got married or into a relationship, or someone has moved out. There is a conversation going on here this month about how your financial how your world is going to change, not only for a short term, but this feels like a long term. So this could be moving in with someone, like I said, marriage or a new job. I do think, though, as I'm looking at your cards, what I think is interesting is the Lovers card here is right there when we are moving into July time. And so I would say pay attention to not only whoever you meet or dream about, but this also could be something coming into your psyche about someone who's going to have an influential point in your life. And I do think that that is something you have been possibly looking for. And this isn't necessarily a love relationship, but maybe someone who can help you further in your journey. So you start off the month with the Two of Swords, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This feels like there is a decision that needs to be made that first week of the month when Venus enters Taurus on the 6th and Mercury enters Cancer on the 8th. During this period of time, are you thinking about what it is you need to do next? Is there a twist of fate that has happened that you're like, okay, now where is it that I go? What direction do I need to steer towards? And I do think Venus entering Taurus is going to help you with getting really clear on your finances, being able to get clear on what kind of job or what kind of direction you want to take. But I do think Mercury entering Cancer brings up a whole nother level of being able to communicate with people, Pisces. And I do think that you all, along with the fellow water signs, are going to have some type of decision that needs to be made here that you intuitively come to. And I think that as you move throughout the month, when we get to that second week of June, we have the Star card, Knight of Cups, both in reverse. This is when Jupiter enters Cancer. So I will tell you, for the next year, there's going to be a bigger emphasis on your home life, your relationships, your anything that you hold dear from a home, but also I feel like nurturing side. And I do feel like the Star card and Knight of Cups, you all could have some kind of feeling like, okay, someone is trying to help me. Someone is intuitively trying to help me, but you don't know who that is. And it feels like that Star card asks you to reach out to people in your community or your inner circle. I do think that Sagittarius full moon on June 11th brings up some type of culmination point that you have been waiting for a while. I do think this has to do with your group of people that you're with. It could be foreign people or foreign relations with people. You could have I just heard a new job, possibly working with foreign relations. But I also hear that this Star card is about you finding yourself within this new group of people. And I do think that Sagittarius full moon is going to be great for connecting to people who you've possibly never even met before. Now, by the time we move into the third week of the month, this is when we will have Jupiter in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries on the 15th, Mars in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus on the 15th. So the 15th is a big day. Lots going on with all of that new energy of Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Aries, and then Uranus in Taurus. I do think that that Lovers card could be your spouse or your partner or a colleague, even a business partner, could be going through some type of emotional change, or they need some kind of assistance and you're not quite sure how to help them. And I do think that this is brought up as we move throughout June, and Mars entering Virgo on the 17th could also spark something around your physical world. I do think some of you could have some type of conversation that you're trying to almost like create some type of new habit or new type of organization for yourself. And I do think that this Lovers card is like you're being helped by someone or you're helping someone else. And I do think this is really nice energy because by the time we get to the 20th, the summer solstice, the sun enters Cancer, you all are feeling so much better just about where you are at. And I feel like this Lovers card and this financial and material changes could bring up someone who is trying to either talk to you or someone who is trying to get your attention, possibly in the business world. Now, by the time we end the month, Page of Cups, Five of Swords, both in reverse. This is when we have a Cancer new moon on the 25th, and the sun in Cancer is conjunct Jupiter in Cancer on the 24th. So expect big movements around your home life. I do think that many of you all are moving away from some tension that you all were experiencing possibly back in the earlier part of the month, or even back in May, around people that you were not getting along with, you didn't see eye to eye. And I do think when Mercury enters Leo on the 26th, really start preparing yourself for Mercury going retrograde in July. Prepare and figure out what is it that you need to move away from, people who are not bringing you courage, not letting you be yourself with Mercury in Leo. And I think this Page of Cups is like, don't ignore, it feels like don't get so wrapped up in yourself, Pisces, that you forget that people are trying to help you. And I do think by time we get into the end of June, when Mercury in Leo enters retrograde shadow, that's when you start needing to pull back from whoever is not helping you in your next journey. And I do think that by time you move into July, Pisces, you are starting some type of new journey, just because you do have that Lovers, Wheel of Fortune, Star card, and there is this financial and material changes. So be prepared for job news, conversations around possibly partnerships, and also where is it that you need to remove yourself from people who are no longer serving you. Page of Swords, Five of Swords, both in reverse, is like you no longer need to be mentally around whoever you have been giving your time to. So I hope this is helpful, Pisces. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising sign in this video series. If you haven't subscribed, I would love if you would. I'll talk to you later.